Good wishes, dear students. After concentrating the ore to remove the impurities, we move on to the second type of concept called extraction of ores. There are different steps involved in it. To give you in one line the principle involved here, concentrated ore is converted into metal oxide and metal oxide is converted into elemental metal. So for converting concentrated ore into metal oxide and metal oxide into elemental ore, there are 5 different steps involved in it. The first will be the concentrated ore is subjected either to roasting or a calcination. Now roasting meaning heating the concentrated ore in the excess of oxygen. Calcination meaning heating the concentrated ore in the absence of oxygen. After subjecting either to roasting or a calcination, we move on to the step called smelting followed by reduction. Now there are different types of reducing agents can be used. Carbon can be used, hydrogen can be used, metals can be used, or auto reduction is also possible. We will see all about this in detail one by one. Now, extraction of crude metal, the same principle what I told earlier, I have written it here once again. Ore is, that's a concentrated ore is converted into metal oxide and metal oxide is converted into elemental metal. Now, the same principle. Conversion of ore into metal oxide of the metal. Now, why are we converting the ore into metal oxide before deriving elemental metal? Why can't we directly convert the concentrated ore into elemental metal? I have given the reasons here. Metal in the concentrated ore exists in the positive oxidation state. Hence, it should be converted to metal oxide. What happens if the metal continues to exist in the positive oxidation state? Metals in the positive oxidation state steals the electrons from the other compounds present. To give you the example of other compounds present, I would like to take a copper pyrite formula. Now this is the ore of copper. That's a copper pyrite formula, CuFeS2. In this ore, I have a metal copper and I've got an iron is a metal, iron is also metal, sulfur. So this is a combination of different metals mixed together. So metals in the positive oxidation state steals the electrons from the other compounds present. Now after this we have the second step called reduction of the metal oxide into its elemental state. So first you are converting concentrated ore into metal oxide and after that I told you about smelting, reduction. So that's the step we are going to see here. Reduction of the metal oxide into its elemental state. Just one line of point you need to remember. Conversion or a reduction of oxide to its elemental state is easier than reduction of the compound of the metal from the ore. The same point what I have told you. Ore is converted into metal oxide. So from extracting a metal from metal oxide is easier than extracting a metal from the concentrated ore. Nothing big about it. Now next we are moving into the step called roasting. The distinguish between what is a roasting and what is a calcination. Now I have given in one line of answer conversion of ore into metal oxide. So the purpose of roasting and calcination is converting the metal ore into metal oxide. Now it will be easy for you all to remember and to study for the exam point of view. Now roasting, point number 1, heating it in the excess of oxygen. Vice versa here, heating it in the absence of oxygen. Now, it gives out sulfur dioxide as gas. It gives out carbon dioxide as gas and some cases water molecules goes out as a vapor. Point number 3, removes impurities like arsenic, sulfur, phosphorus. Now sulfur, I told you, sulfur if it is present, it will go out as a sulfur dioxide. If arsenic and phosphorus, they will go out as a volatile oxides. The next page I will give you the example for it. The fourth type of distinguished point here is suitable for the sulfide ores. Now on the other side for a calcination, suitable for the carbonated and hydrated ore. Just remember one, in the given ore, if you see the presence of sulfur dioxide gas will be formed, on the byproduct side. In the given ore, if you see the carbonated CO3 formula or a hydrated H2O formula, water molecule will be removed here. Here carbon dioxide will be removed. Now I'm coming to the practical examples on roasting and a calcination. Once again, I put it in the points of distinguished friol. Now here, as I told you in the earlier video, sulfur can be seen. See, PbS, lead sulfide. When I treat with oxygen, now roasting is about heating it in the presence of oxygen. This sulfur and oxygen go out as a sulfur dioxide. The remaining will put together will form a lead oxide. Similarly, zinc sulfide, when you treat with oxygen, sulfur will combine with the oxygen and go out as a sulfur dioxide. Zinc and the oxygen, leftover oxygen, combine together to form a zinc oxide. Now copper sulfide, treating it with the oxygen. Now this is a notation for a heating. So roasting, we heat the metal ores of sulfide in the presence of oxygen. Copper oxide plus sulfur dioxide gas goes out. Now, if the above elements have certain impurities like AS stands for arsenic, sulfur, phosphorus, they react with the oxygen to give volatile oxides. Now, so arsenic reacts with the oxygen and goes out as arsenic trioxide. Now the sulfur reacts with the oxygen as sulfur dioxide, goes out as sulfur dioxide, as I told you earlier. Phosphorus reacts with the oxygen and goes out as a phosphorus pentoxide. Now P4O10 is also correct molecular formula. You can also write it as a P2O5, one and the same they are. Now some of you will have the doubt about what is this S8 and P4. We will study about this in detail in your next chapter of inorganic chemistry. For the timing, I'll just give you as usual one line of explanation. S8 and P4 are allotropes of sulfur and phosphor. Now what's the meaning of allotropes? Molecular structure alone is different. Now only remember this point of difference. When we move into the next chapter, we will study detailedly. So S8 and P4 also called as a sulfur and phosphorus, but they are allotropes of sulfur and phosphorus. What's the meaning of allotropes? Molecular structure alone is different. Now we'll move on to the calcination. Now what's the meaning of calcination? I told you calcination meaning heating it in the absence of oxygen. Here everywhere you will see oxygen, 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 heating it with the oxygen. Now calcination you will not see oxygen. Now one more point of difference I gave you. Calcination method is suitable for carbonated ore and hydrated ore. Now how do you distinguish carbonated ore? Lead carbonate CO3, calcium carbonate CO3, zinc carbonate CO3, dolomite, that's MgCO3, CaCO3. So if carbonate is present, you can close your eyes and write down one of the byproducts will be carbon dioxide gas, CO2. So the leftover combines together lead oxide. Calcium carbonate gives you calcium oxide plus carbon dioxide. Zinc carbonate gives you zinc oxide plus carbon dioxide. Dolomite, this is an ore of magnesium, MgCO3 and CaCO3. When you heat, you get magnesium oxide, calcium oxide and carbon dioxide gas goes out. Next we move on to hydrated ore. How will you identify? Here you identify it by the presence of CO3, carbonate molecules will be present. And here how will you identify? Water molecules will be there. Now this is hydrated ore of iron oxide, hydrated ore of aluminium oxide. So when we heat it, here also without the oxygen, the water molecule, 3 times the water molecule goes out as a vapor. Here again when you heat it, 2 times the water molecule goes out as a vapor and the leftover alumina without the water molecule is obtained. Now one point I have written it for you all. Dear students, in inorganic chemistry, every reaction without balancing will not give you any mark. I have uploaded 2 videos on balancing the equations. It's not possible for me to balance every every reaction that I'm working out on the paper. So none of these reactions are balanced, but I have taught you how to balance the equations. Please make extra attempt to balance them. Thank you.
I gave you my heart.